A very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television this Saturday morning. My name is Aishwarya Kapoor. Let us start the news bulletin with the headlines. Mega countrywide campaign Swachhta Abhiyaan to begin today. Prime Minister Modi to launch a fortnight-long campaign in run-up to the 4th anniversary of the Swachh Bharat mission. Series of activities planned across villages, cities, industrial estates and schools to contribute to Mahatma Gandhi's dream of a clean India. Centre relaxes norms to raise overseas borrowing, decides to impose restrictions on non-essential imports. Move a part of 5 decisions taken to check current account deficit and falling rupee. Decision following Prime Minister's review meeting with RBI Governor, Finance Minister and other key officials. Vice President leads first ever high-level Indian delegation to Serbia since the breakup of Yugoslavia. Addresses Indian community in capital Belgrade, asks them to play a key role in deepening India-Serbia relations, to hold meeting with the top Serbian leaders and address the National Assembly today. Five killed, hundreds rescued as a tropical storm Florence barrels into eastern Carolina coast in the U.S. and moves inland. Trees knocked down and rivers overflow, leading to flooding on the streets. Year's strongest storm, Super Typhoon Mangkhut, makes landfall in Philippines, leaving millions at risk. And Asia Cup cricket tournament to begin in the UAE. 6 teams are participating. Sri Lanka and Bangladesh to face off in the first match today. India to play Pakistan on the 19th. Our top story this morning, a mega countrywide Swachhta Abhiyaan campaign will be launched today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch the fortnight-long campaign through video conferencing. He will also interact with a cross-section of people from 18 locations. The campaign will end on 2nd of October, which also marks the 4th anniversary of the Swachh Bharat mission. The celebrations of Gandhi's 150th birth anniversary will also commence that day. Now, during this period, a series of activities have been planned. Swachhta Gram Sabhas and Shramdan will be held in all 250,000 Gram Panchayats. Massive sanitation drives will be organized in all the industrial estates. Over 10 lakh registered doctors will hold a local Swachhta clinic and 9 lakh ASHA workers will hold cleanliness drive at primary health centers. Swachhta rally will also be organized by the school children. The campaign will culminate with the Mahatma Gandhi International Sanitation Convention in New Delhi from 29th of September to 2nd of October. And appealing to people to take part wholeheartedly in the event, the Prime Minister on Wednesday has said that the movement was a great way to pay tribute to Mahatma Gandhi.
मैं सभी देशवासियों को आह्वान करता हूं, स्कूलों के बच्चे, कॉलेजों के युवा, एनएसएस, एनसीसी, नेहरू युवा केंद्र, ये हमारे सभी युवा, माताएं, बहनें, हाउसिंग सोसाइटियां, स्वयंसेवी संस्थाएं, सरकारी कर्मचारी, देश की जानी मानी सभी हस्तियां, मीडिया ग्रुप्स, हर कोई अभी से योजना बनाए, कहां सफाई करेंगे, उसके लिए औरों को कैसे जोड़ेंगे, मोटिवेट कैसे करेंगे.
And on to the other top story of the day. As a part of efforts to check a rising current account deficit, the government will relax norms for raising overseas borrowing and impose restrictions on the non-essential imports. The commodities of which imports will be cut down will be decided after consultations with the concerned ministries. And other steps include removal of restrictions on masala bonds. It decided to review mandatory hedging conditions for infrastructure loans. The government also proposed to remove exposure limit of up to 20% of an FPI bond portfolio to a single corporate group and 50% to a single company. The decisions were taken at a meeting chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi to review state of the economy. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, Niti Aayog Vice Chairman Rajiv Kumar, Economic Advisory Council Chairman Bibek Debroy and RBI Governor Urjit Patel were among those who attended this meeting, where issues like depreciation of the rupee and fuel prices were discussed. The two-day meeting will continue today.
That to address the issue of expanding current account deficit, the government will take necessary steps to cut down non-essential imports and also increase exports. ये कौन से होंगे non-essential imports? अगले कुछ दिनों में जिस एरिया में ये करना होगा उन मिनिस्ट्रीज को कंसल्ट करके necessary decisions will be taken. As and when they are taken, they will be announced.
And exports rose at the fastest pace in 3 months to reach $27.84 billion in August on account of growth in petroleum products, engineer, pharma and gems and jewellery shipments. According to the data released by the Commerce Ministry, imports also grew by 25.41% in August due to costlier crude oil shipments, and trade deficit in August came down to $17.4 billion as against $12.72 billion in August last year. The exports of petroleum products, engineer, pharma and gems and jewellery in the month of August rose by 43.25%, 31.81%, 28.52% and 34.76% respectively. And gold imports in August jumped by 92.62% to $3.6 billion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on a Friday attended an Ashura Mubarak event in Indore to commemorate the death anniversary of Prophet Muhammad's grandson Hussain. Addressing the event, Prime Minister Modi said that Imam Hussain was martyred for peace and justice and he raised a voice against injustice. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan also spoke on the occasion.
Praising the Dawoodi Bohra community for its honesty in trade, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday said, the concept of Vasudev Kutumbakam, the world is one family, gives India an identity different from all other countries. The Prime Minister was addressing an event Ashura Mubarak that commemorates the martyrdom of Imam Hussain, organized by the community at Indore.
वसुधैव कुटुंबकम, हम वो लोग जो सबको साथ लेकर चलने की परंपरा को जी करके दिखाने वाले लोग हैं। हमारे समाज की, हमारे विरासत की यही शक्ति है जो हमें दुनिया के दूसरे देशों से अलग पहचान पैदा करती है।
The Prime Minister highlighted the GST rollout and other economic reforms carried out by his government and said members of the Bohra community took maximum advantage of these steps.
बीते 4 वर्षों में सरकार ये साफ संदेश देने में सफल हुई है कि जो भी हो वो नियमों के दायरे में ही होना चाहिए। जीएसटी, इंसॉल्वेंसी एंड बैंक्रप्सी कोड जैसे अनेक कानूनों के माध्यम से ईमानदार कारोबारियों को प्रोत्साहित किया जा रहा है।
During the event, he also mentioned welfare schemes of government like Ayushman Bharat and Swachhta Abhiyaan, saying that Ayushman Bharat Yojana has come as a savior for 50 crore poor people of country. Ashura Mubarak is observed at the beginning of the Islamic year. The period is dedicated to the remembrance of Prophet Muhammad's grandson Imam Hussain. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And on to news from the Vice President's three-nation tour. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu interacted with the Indian community in Belgrade on the evening of his arrival in Serbia on Friday. And calling them India's unofficial ambassadors to Serbia, the Vice President asked the Indians living in Serbia to play a key role in deepening India-Serbia relations. Vice President Naidu also expressed her happiness over Serbian government's decision to abolish visas for Indian nationals to travel to Serbia for a short duration. Naidu's visit to Serbia assumes significance as India and Serbia are celebrating 70 years of diplomatic ties. Vice President Naidu is leading the first ever high-level Indian delegation to Serbia since the breakup of Yugoslavia in the early 1990s.
The strengthening of bilateral relationship with this beautiful country. Serbia is a very friendly country to India. They are supporting us on each and every international forum, and we don't have any contentious issues also, and we also stand firmly with the Serbian government with regard to their approach, and I am happy that the Serbian government have made visa on arrival. That's a very positive step taken by this government, and we really appreciate the same. And our culture, particularly yoga and Ayurveda, is also attracting a lot of attention, not only here, but everywhere. I told you, secondly, reforms are in full swing, and thirdly, economy is also moving in a positive mood. So that way, everything is positive, and I welcome the businessmen from Serbia also. They can rely on India, they can also invest here, and then people who are here, they can also expand their business further, taking advantage of the growth of the country. These are some of the ideas I just wanted to exchange with you.
Today, the Vice President will be accorded an official welcome in Serbia. He will hold a meeting with the President of Serbia, and there will be signing of MOUs following delegation-level talks. An India-Serbia Business Forum meeting is also slated. The Vice President will also hold talks with the Speaker of the National Assembly there and also address a special session of the Assembly today. And after Serbia, Vice President Naidu will be visiting Malta and Romania. And External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj and Russian Deputy Prime Minister Yuri Borisov on Friday decided to expand cooperation in the new areas of agriculture, infrastructure, transport and science and technology. Both the sides also agreed to deepen cooperation in the areas of space. Sushma Swaraj and Borisov co-chaired the 23rd India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission on Technical and Economic Cooperation. Sushma Swaraj said that India pays utmost importance to its relations with Russia. She also proposed a mutual investment target of $50 billion, that is $31 billion at present. Both the sides also discussed ways to enhance bilateral trade, which in 2017 reached $10.17 billion. Sushma Swaraj thanked Russia for providing e-visa facilities to Indians travelling to far eastern parts of their country. The meeting comes ahead of Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India next month for the annual bilateral summit.
हमने हमारे बीच सहयोग के नए क्षेत्रों की पहचान की है, जिसमें कृषि, ढांचागत विकास, परिवहन, विज्ञान और प्रौद्योगिकी शामिल हैं। हम अंतरिक्ष के क्षेत्र में भी सहयोग को विस्तृत करना चाहेंगे। भारत में अक्टूबर के प्रारंभ में दोनों देशों की प्रमुख कंपनियों की पहली भारत-रूस व्यापार शिखर वार्ता की जाए, इस पर भी हम दोनों देशों ने सहमति व्यक्त की है। मुझे पूर्ण विश्वास है कि आज हमारे दोनों देशों के बीच हुए विचार विमर्श के बाद रूस के साथ हमारा सहयोग नए क्षेत्रों में भी वर्तमान और भविष्य में और अधिक मजबूत होगा।
In Breakfast News, we'll take a very short break here. We'll be back with more news.
Art arisen from a multi-hued cultural canvas. Tradition and cultural fervour dating back centuries. And encircling them all, there's a magic that awes. Embrace your nation's brilliant human warmth. Watch Colours of India, Sundays at 9:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha television.
India is spending something like $10 billion a year in fertilizer costs. If we have better management, there's a massive financial saving there. Prime Minister Mr. Modi has already, in his Man Ki Baat statement from November last year, made a call to halve fertilizer use in India. That's an amazingly ambitious call. For some people, the solution will be more efficient, smarter fertilizers. For other people, they say, no, I want to go organic and, for example, have a zero-budget natural farming. I personally think that both have got things to offer, and let's see how they get on in the years ahead, which one is going to deliver most effectively. The big challenge for nitrogen is that most people don't know about it. Everybody has heard of carbon. You get a carbon footprint with your breakfast cereal nowadays, but if I talk about nitrogen, many people don't know about it. That awareness has to be the #1 issue, because until everybody's aware, we do nothing.
Watch Eureka with Professor Mark Azarton, Chair at International Nitrogen Initiative. Saturday 4 p.m. and Sunday 12 noon, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back after the break. Aadhaar issuing body UIDAI will begin a phased rollout of a face recognition feature as an additional mode of authentication from today. UIDAI has made it mandatory for mobile operators. The authority had earlier planned to roll out the face recognition feature from 1st of July, a target that was later pushed to 1st of August. And UIDAI says that the move is aimed at curbing the possibility of fingerprint spoofing or cloning, and seeks to tighten the audit process and the security around the issuance and the activation of mobile SIMs. It has also proposed a mandatory disinvestment for telcos found slipping on the prescribed targets from next month. BJP President Amitabh will start campaigning in poll-bound Telangana with a public meeting at Mahbubnagar today. During his day-long visit, Amitabh will visit the temple of goddess Mahakali in the old city of Hyderabad. He will also meet BJP state office bearers and district unit presidents at Kothur to discuss the strategy for the upcoming elections. Earlier this month, K. Chandrasekhar Rao had dissolved the State Assembly in view of early polls. The election date will be announced by the Election Commissioner later. There has been an 80% decline in estimated new HIV infections from the peak of 1995 in India, according to the latest report by National AIDS Control Organization. India has approximately 21.4 lakh people living with HIV/AIDS in 2017. The report says that India saw around 87,580 new HIV infections and 69,110 AIDS-related deaths in 2017, which is a decline of 71% since 1995. India has the world's third largest population of people with HIV/AIDS after South Africa and Nigeria. News from Jammu and Kashmir now, where 17 people were killed and 16 others were injured after a passenger minibus rolled down into the Chenab River's bed in a Thakrai area of Kishtwar district on Friday. The police said that the accident took place when the vehicle packed with passengers coming from Keshwan plunged into a gorge, and 11 people were rescued and airlifted by a helicopter to Jammu. The state government has announced 5 lakh rupees as ex gratia each for the deceased persons' families, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed condolences to the victims. News from the US now, where at least 5 people have died as tropical storm Florence mauls the US East Coast. After coming ashore in North Carolina as a Category 1 hurricane, Florence was downgraded to a tropical storm on Friday afternoon, and it trudged into South Carolina as night came. A mother and a child were killed when a tree fell on their house in Wilmington in North Carolina. Another woman passed away of cardiac arrest in Hampstead. Emergency services found their path blocked by trees, and 2 persons died in Lenoir County. Evacuation warnings are in place for 1.7 million people. Florence is packing sustained winds of 110 km per hour and has knocked out power to 6 lakh homes and causing buildings to crumble. Parts of North Carolina have seen storm surges as high as 10 feet. The storm is expected to lumber into far southeastern North Carolina and eastern South Carolina through Saturday today, punishing the area with rain and damaging winds.
I've never been so terrified in my entire life. It was horrifying. Just wondering what's going on and where the water's going to go and how high it's going to go and how we are going to get out. And if we were going to get trapped in the attic or not.
We are expecting several more days of rain, and our focus now is getting people away from immediate danger. And then we will shift into putting our communities back together. The storm is wreaking havoc on our state, and we're deeply concerned for farms, for businesses, for schools, and even whole communities which could be wiped away.
Meanwhile, a fierce typhoon bringing winds of over 200 km per hour made landfall in the northern Philippines today. Super Typhoon Mangkhut, a Category 5 storm, brought powerful gusts, heavy rainfall and caused power outages in some areas as well. Tens of thousands of people have been evacuated from coastal areas where warnings have been issued about possible storm surges of 3 to 6 meters. Floods, landslides and widespread property destruction is expected. There were no immediate reports of damage or injuries. Mangkhut's peak winds are stronger than those of Hurricane Florence, and authorities say that about a quarter of the 4.2 million people now said to be impacted by the storm live in poverty. Sports news now. The 14th edition of the Asia Cup cricket tournament will kickstart from today with India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Hong Kong facing each other for the coveted title. Bangladesh will face Sri Lanka in the opening match, while India will face arch rival Pakistan on 19th of September, that is Wednesday. Now, India, the most successful team in the Asia Cup, Pakistan and Hong Kong, which clinched their only spot for the Asia Cup, beating UAE, are placed in Group A, while Sri Lanka, Afghanistan and Bangladesh are placed in Group B. Rohit Sharma will be leading the Indian squad. The team will begin its campaign on Tuesday, that is the 18th of September, against Hong Kong. And India will face the Maldives in the final of the South Asian Football Federation Cup, or the SAF Cup, in Dhaka today. Chasing its 8th SAF title, India eliminated Pakistan 3-1 in the second semi-final on Wednesday. Manveer Singh was the star of that match with 2 goals, while Sumit Pasi scored the winner for India. The Indian team is unbeaten in the tournament so far. India has beaten Sri Lanka 2-0 and Maldives with the same score in the group stage. And Maldives, on the other hand, has not played in the final in the last 3 editions of the SAF Cup, losing each time in the semi-finals. Maldives defeated Nepal 3-0 in the first semi-final to make it to the final. And Indian boxer Manisha entered the final of the 13th International Silesian Boxing Championship for Women in Poland. Manisha defeated a former European champion Victoria Kuleshova 5-0 in the 54-kilogram weight category. And in the junior category, T. Dongel claimed the gold medal after defeating Germany's Maria Ele Avram in the final of the 48-kilogram weight category. Earlier, ace Indian boxer MC Mary Kom made it to the final of the 48 kg weight category senior competition on Thursday, while L. Sarita Devi made it to the semi-final of the 60 kg category. And now news from the Davis Cup, and Croatia took a 2-0 lead in the Davis Cup final in their semi-final against USA on the home clay in Zadar. World number 18 Borna Koric of Croatia defeated Steve Johnson 6-4, 7-6, 6-3 in the opening rubber, while world number 6 Marin Cilic defeated Francis Tiafoe 6-1, 6-3, 7-6 in the second rubber to extend the lead. Croatia have now recorded 8 straight wins in Zadar. And Benoit Pere and Lucas Pole earned a triumph as champions. France took a lead in the Davis Cup World Group semi-final against Spain. Pere made it remarkable cup debut for France by defeating Pablo Carrera Rusta 7-5, 6-1, 6-0 in the opening rubber, while Pole beat Roberto Agut 3-6, 7-6, 6-4, 2-6, 6-4 in 3 hours, 31 minutes. And that's it in this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching.